Hey y'all, it's Fox on the Beast Most from the East Coast, and I'm here with some more action for string theory. This time we're talking about Clive. He just came out, and we're going to tell you exactly how to beat all of his strings. So let's get started. I did the lab work yesterday, and we're just going to focus right now on the strings that he has from Heat for first and foremost. So the 4-2 string. There's 3 strings that are connected to it when he has Heat, right? So you've got the 4-2-2-2, and this guy is interruptible by flash, it's interruptible by a power crush, it is not sidesteppable. Good luck trying to sidestep this stuff. Rage Art, if you have the ability, you can spin out if you're Yoshimitsu, but other than that, you're not really getting away from 4-2-2-2. So on the 4-2-2-1, same exact thing. Flash in the middle. Mostly power crush is like your only option. Again, you're not stepping. You can spin if you're a Yoshimitsu player. If you go to 4-2-2-1 charge, now you can see him trying to charge it up. You cannot get 24 framer. That one is right there. It's 24 frame startup. So I was just like, hey, I'll give you guys that. But you can catch him with 20 frames or faster, and obviously you should be able to sidestep, but you cannot. So you need a sidewalk, and it looks like even sidewalk will lose sometimes. You really have to like send this thing, and if you walk to the left, it might set you off axis a little bit. All right, moving further on, we're gonna go and talk about next the sidestep to 1. Jailing string, nothing you can do about it. It's not delayable. Well, it's punishable, but not delayable. Kind of weird, that string. Not really sure I understand it super much, but on the bright side, you know, it's a heat dash if they decide they want to use it. Now the down forward 1 strings, these are important, right? 1-1-1-1, all mid, every single part of it. If you have a 3-frame parry that parries weapons after the 3rd hit, parry, but some characters, they don't get anything off of it. Like Yoshimitsu gets slapped out of nowhere. You can evade left after the 3rd hit if you're Yoshimitsu, but if you're anybody else, good luck with that. Down forward 1-1-2-1 is the force with a high in it after the 3rd hit gets blocked. Right? You cannot high click. Like if I match a down 4 here, like a generic down 4, I'm getting slammed. So you have to duck the 4th hits of the string in order to get anything off of it. Now very similarly, up 1+2 has a string in it that looks almost exactly like the second hit. See that? Same thing as what we saw from down forward 1-1-2-1. You can parry after the 2nd hit, but again, if you're not a 3-frame parrier, or if you're not Yoshimitsu, you're holding this string. That's all there is to it. And then up 1+2-1 is exactly the same thing as down forward 1-1-2-1. You got to be really looking for those 2 high swords. Let it rip. And then the last one that I wasn't able to record before this is the Phoenix 2 1+2, which is a string he only has in Heat. And you can parry after the 1st hit if you are somebody that can parry weapons. And you can also flash if you're a Yoshimitsu player, but it trades. So not really a good trade for Yoshimitsu there. But those are all of the strings from Heat. Alright, so now we got the strings that are not Heat specific. Alright, you got his jab strings. 1-1, this is jailing. Can't go under it. It will go into Phoenix stance, but that's for a different video. 1-2, that's his 10 frame Punisher. That's going to be 14 frames, but again, jailing. So the jab strings jail except 1-2. This guy right here, which does the pushback and the block. So you want to make sure that if you see a left jab come out, you might as well duck, because the other one's jail, right? You can actually do a 7-frame high crush. So like, if you wanted to armor after a jab, do that. You could, I'm trying to get my 7-frame high crush here, sorry. There you go. That's my 7-frame high crush. Most people have a good 7-frame high crush, like Yoshi has, down extra 3, things like that. 2-1 is the 10-frame Punisher. This guy is also a jailing string, so not much to talk about there. Then we have the 2 varieties, 2-2-1, 2-2-2, and 2-2-1 plus 2. Now, 2-2-1 is actually one of his only delayable strings. As far as I lab, it is his only delayable string, 2-2-1. Now, if I try to mash here, I can't get anything. However, I recorded a delay on it, and if I do mash on the delay, I'll get counter hit for a guaranteed follow-up. So I gotta be really careful with that. So you'll notice that I say that you can't do anything to this string, but of course, there's delayability. So if I delay, if the Clive player delays enough, you might be able to get a parry in there. Although, in that case, I really could not. 2-2-2 coming up. This guy, yes, you can go 2-2 into Phoenix stance, but you can also armor in between a lot of his strings. You can do flash, you can do a rage art or no sword stance flash here. You are not stepping though. Stepping is not the correct answer. Basically at all to Clive, unless you're talking about his stance transitions, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. 2-2-1 plus 2 now is an even bigger sweep. Now, sidestep is really weird for this, honestly. You can parry if you have a weapon, but you're going to get slapped if you're Yoshimitsu. You can flash, you can power crush here as well. You can rage art. And if you sidestep, notice how the second hit will whiff. The first hit does not whiff, but the second hit whiffs with so much amount of advantage, it might as well have had the first hit whiffing. But you're so off axis, you have to be really careful of what button that you use. Like, you see there, it gave me a back turn one. Didn't have to though. So, sidestep right is actually the safer option in here. You just need to be careful that you're using an option that will work off axis or even back turn. Little bit crazy on that one. Alright, so next are those strings that start up with kicks. You got 3-2. This thing is kind of weird. He throws this dog at you. Oddly enough, you can parry the second hit if you are, like I said, there's a pattern here. But if you have a 5-frame parry, it's not going to work. And again, it's a weapon, so very, very few characters can parry this anyway. Now there's 3-3 coming up, and that's his transition into the Wings of Light stance. I'm really not thinking that anybody is just rocking this out in the neutral or whatnot. Probably only a combo technique. However, should you need to interrupt this, you can. Right there, you're not getting a float out of it. You can parry it. I thought you could parry it. Huh. Hold on. Is it because he's here? Oh no, yeah. If you have a 5-frame parry, it works. It doesn't work if you have a 3-frame parry because 3-frame parries have a smaller window. That was my mistake. But you will be able to parry it if you have another character. You can see that flash is effective. You can see that power crush is effective. You can see that again, sidestep is not going to be effective. He's doing 3-3 out there, just out of nowhere. I mean, I guess isn't it like -18 on block though, my guy? Manji evade is the only way you're going to be able to get away from this. Not sidestepping left, not sidestepping right. Hold on. Let me not lie to you now. Okay, maybe I lied to you. Maybe I lied to you for a second. Alright, we gonna change that. Sidewalk left only. Okay, my bad. Alright. On to 4-2. Another one where you parry the second hit if you're a 3-frame weapon parrier. Everything else is not really available to you. This is 12-frame punish. Not really a lot to worry about there if I'm you. 4-4, however, this guy is important, right? This guy is going to go mid-high, okay? And it's going to be able to go into Phoenix Stance. So we gotta pay attention to it. Now, actually, I think I may have underlabbed this thing. So I'm just gonna go right back real quick. This is how my lab process works, in case you're wondering. So I see there's a high, right? I'm gonna go for my 4-frame high crush. Okay, that works. What about my 6-frame high crush? Okay, that works, right? But also I probably knew that because I know that I can do a no sword stance flash here. So I can do an 8-frame high crush at minimum on these. And of course, I can also do a power crush should I choose as well. So that mischief is managed. And next, probably one of the reasons that you came here is the 4-2 string, right? So we got 4-2-1. This guy is mid-high. You're not getting the ability to do a high crush there. You heard me mashing a high crush in that situation. You can duck. And it's what? +1 on block? Yeah. Like a lot of his big sword haymakers are +1 on block. So you're not really doing anything to that. 4-2-2, you're holding that situation quite often. It can go into Phoenix Stance. Your Yoshimitsu, you basically just flash. Pretty much every single time. Clive is punishable on 4-2-2, and he goes into Phoenix Stance, and it goes straight into Yoshimitsu flash. Doesn't matter. Alright, but again, you can get this nice power crush in the middle of these strings. Are we seeing a pattern here? Manji evade only. You're not getting a sidestep. You cannot just step willy-nilly on this guy. Now, 4-2-2, 1+2, where he, right, jumps up a little bit. You can get a sidestep left after the second hit. And it might even be back turn on him, yeah, to get something nice. Guaranteed. A lot of people can get something crazy after that one. But the 4-2 string, basically, like the majority of his strings, you can power crush in the middle of the second hit. Now next, of course, really important group of strings is the down forward 1 string. So we have down forward 1, 2-1. First off, you got that high in the middle there, right? And you can do a 4-frame high crush after the first hit to be able to get under there. You cannot do a 6-frame high crush. You see, if I try to do a 6-frame high crush, I'll get counter hit by the second hit. Yikes, huge amount of damage. There's really not much else that you can do. I think I can also do a 3-frame weapon pair here, but you know, it's a weapon. So, and also it's kind of hard to get under this thing and get a launcher. I found, maybe not so much. Maybe I'm a liar. Down forward 1-4-3 though. This guy is, again, I feel like it's more of a combo tool. But after the second hit, you see that knee come out, you can sidestep evade, or, you know, not. You're not allowed to be able to sidestep on this. What I meant to say was Manji evasion. You can. Everything else not. You will trade with 8-frame no sword stance flash, which means you're going to be able to do rage art on the middle of it. But again, the situation here, you have the ability to do a power crush. And in the case of Keeper, you can get a float and go and get a wall carry again, things like that. So not a bad idea to do an armor move, specifically Keepers, when you see that knee come out after the down forward 1. Next we have down back 2-1. This guy right here. Kind of hard to miss the animation for it. Very cool looking animation. Now again, you're not stepping this thing unless your name is Yoshimitsu. Alright? And he recovers actually really quickly. You would think that he doesn't recover very quickly, but like if I try to spin out, I can't get like a hop knee punish guaranteed off of it. I can get it some jabs and stuff, but like I can't get it down forward 1. It's really interesting. You can also charge this second input. Now notice that I will trade with my 20 frame while holding the puddle if he does the full charge. So that means that you should be able to interrupt with a 19 frame or faster button. Of course, that means you'll also be able to power crush. You can, in the situation of the full charge, getting full sidestep and launch and whatnot. I think you have to side walk left. You can't just sidestep left on this situation. See, I'll show you. See ya? See that? Still get hit if I just let it sidestep rock. But if I do sidestep right, completely win. So I think the sidestep right wins a lot versus Clive, but not during his strings, more versus his stances. Sidestep right is better if you're going to sidestep at all. Next up we got While Standing 1-2. That's your mid-mid. This thing looks like a high. I don't know why it looks so much like a high, but it's not. While Standing 1-2. Really, again, you can do a 3-frame parry if you have weapon, but most people can't. Next, and finally, the Phoenix 2 string. You have Phoenix 2-1, which is this big, you know, the big kind of updraft. It does like that when it hits you. Huge damage. You can, again, parry after the second hit. After the first hit, excuse me. Power crush after the first hit. I'm so sorry. Right there. You can evade out of there if your name is Yoshimitsu. And forward flash if your name is Yoshimitsu. And then, last but not least, the Phoenix 2. Nothing Tekken's really done there. Yoshi can flash punish it, of course. There's no gaps in here whatsoever. So it seems like the game designers have decided you either want to power crush in the middle of these strings, or you want to hold it and get your block punish. And there's a couple of times where you might duck, but there were very few strings that were even duckable. Like, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 6 strings in the entire move list that are duckable. So that's telling us that's not the mix. And also, none of these strings have lows in them as well. So all of it is, should I power crush? Should I not power crush? That's like the TLDR at the end of it. Thanks all for watching. I hope that it was useful. I hope you guys get the ability to practice and be very concerted in your efforts against Clive.